Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you very much for all of our witnesses for your testimony here today and taking the time to be with us. Global commodity markets play an important role in risk management on the farm, and whether it's producers using hedging or other risk management strategies directly or through their co-op or other input suppliers or buyers of the commodities that they produce, being able to mitigate the price risk for their inputs and what they produce is critically important given the tight margins in the volatile markets. Commodity price risk management is also important for our food processors and our manufacturers, and commodity markets are really the underpinning for these activities, so it's important that they're reliable and they're transparent. While beyond the scope of today's hearings, I really hope that what we've heard today will inform us as we move forward in our work on the Farm Bill for the next 5 years. And as we think of the future direction of the programs that can help producers mitigate the prices in the production risk. And with that, Mr. Salmon, one insurance product that provides price protection for some dairy farmers in my district is the Dairy Revenue Production product, which is linked to the futures price of the dairy products traded on the CME. Given that dairy doesn't have the history that grains and oil seeds have on the futures market or the volume traded, what is your long-term view of dairy products on the CME, and what can be done to ensure that it's a stable, reliable market to ensure that they can continue to play a part in risk management for dairy producers and dairy processors? Yeah, no, terrific question, Mr. Congressman. Thank you for that. Dairy is an important part of our business. It's not the biggest part of our business. It's smaller than livestock, a lot smaller than grains and oilseeds, but it's still an important part of the service we provide. We continue to evolve the transparency, access, and price provision in dairy markets, whether it's in the cheese market or in any other parts of dairy milk, for example. We've actually migrated that price provision platform from what used to be a pit-traded platform now to a platform based on what's called Elysian technology within CME Group. So that is an auction process. So there's clear, open, transparent mechanism for setting that price, seeing that price. We work, as I mentioned before, to the question about what the Farm Bill could do, reauthorizing the USDA and making sure that that is robust so it connects to our dairy market, which have strongly expected setting the price of 85% of the price of cheese in the U.S. is based on our settlement price. So to the extent that it's an important part of our market, we continue to innovate and make it as transparent as possible. It's never going to be a market the size of even livestock, not to mention grains, oilseeds, or treasury bonds, but it is a critical component of price setting for the vast majority of cheese and dairy products that are sold in the U.S. So happy to go deeper with you and the groups that are looking for better understanding for how that auction process works, but we continue to evolve that, electronifying that process, bringing more people into that price provision process and disseminating those prices as quickly as possible creates that very transparency and I think market trust that is critical to enable dairy producers to operate profitably. Thank you. Thank you. And in sticking with you, Mr. Salmon, how does crude oil and natural gas as an input price play a direct and indirect role as it relates to agriculture production?
It's probably one of the bigger, other than fertilizer, it's one of the biggest changes and impacts to the cost base of every farmer, every consumer in America, frankly. This has been it's been a wild ride. Natural gas, I believe Mr. Edmonds mentioned before, 8 months ago we were knocking on the door of $9 an MMBTU here in U.S. natural gas, and now we're around $2.50, and with some downward pricing pressure. Now that was thanks largely to a very mild winter and well supplied going into what was a scary moment of losing Russian flows into Europe. But I think the increase and now decrease has a tail effect that's had whipsaw on some folks, and that's hard. So markets can't mitigate all your risk, but market providers like CME Group and ICE can provide tools to help end users that are reliant on volatile pricing cost inputs to their business to at least mitigate or have price certainty around those things. And it's just been hard for everybody, and it's impacted the farmers themselves very drastically.
Well, having had the opportunity to spend time in the district, traveling to, our farms in western New York and the southern tier counties along the Pennsylvania line, they're feeling those high prices, whether it be from, rubber or fuel prices or, transporting feed, operating farms. I mean, these things can't be any higher, and we have to do everything we can to get things under control. But I really thank you very much for your testimony, and Mr. Chairman, I yield back.